cause you any sorrow. Never meant to cause you any pain. Only wanted one time to see you laughing. Only want to see you laughing in the purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out an all-time classic. It is, of course, Purple Rain by Prince. I'm not going to just show you one way of doing it. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of doing it, because the actual version, as best as I can tell, has some pretty tricky chords in it, some pretty stretchy things, some things a little bit awkward. So I'm going to show you a kind of a version that I would imagine most people would want to play, where you kind of simplify the chords a little bit. And I'm going to show you another really easy version for beginners where you can pop a capo on. But we're going to start with the tricky one for those of you who fancy a little bit of a finger stretch, a little bit of dexterity, a little bit of interest. So let's get stuck into that one first of all. First chord we need is this one, which is a B flat add 9 over D, with nothing on the thickest 2 strings. Then the open D string, open 4th string, 3rd finger 3rd fret on the 3rd string, 1st finger barring the thinnest 2 strings in the 1st fret. So as I mentioned, it's a B flat chord, so like a lot of people play it like that, but you get a lot of character here by adding that D in the bottom, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going on the original recording. So let's look at the chords first, and then we'll talk about some of the finessey kind of things that you can add in. That's the first chord. Second chord is this one. Lovely. This is a G minor 11. 3rd fret with the 3rd finger, muting the 5th string. Open D, little finger 3rd fret 3rd string, 1st finger still barring the thinnest 2 strings. Such a lovely chord. So B flat to G minor 11, then it goes to F, regular F. There's some variations I'll talk about in a second. And the last chord is this one. This is an E flat add 9. It's a pretty tricky chord. 1st finger 6th fret on the 5th string, 2nd finger 8th fret on the 4th string, little finger 10th fret on the 3rd string, but then 3rd finger has to go down here on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and your bar is also reaching over to play the thinnest string. Now, I had to lift off there because really important with this chord is that little finger goes down last. So you want to put 1st finger down, then 2nd and 3rd fingers, and then stretch out to get little finger in place. You'll notice on the original recording it's always bass, gives you that little chance to stretch out for the rest. So I wouldn't try and jump directly to that unless you've got an unusually long little finger. So it's going to be 1st finger, 2nd and 3rd fingers down. So it's got, looks, they're split obviously. We've left the 3rd string out, and then little finger will stretch up. So you're going to play bass, then the chord. It's definitely worth practicing that, getting that bass down, bass first, 2nd and 3rd fingers, and then stretch up with the little finger. And the only other chord that we have happens just before the chorus is a regular B flat, like a B flat 5 power chord. It's a major chord, so you could play a major chord or just a B flat power chord. So let's put those into context now, just keeping the rhythm real simple. So at the intro, we're starting with the B flat over D, 3, 4, and then to the G minor 9, to the F, 2, 3, then to the E flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again for the verse, B flat over D, never meant to cause you any G minor 11, F, never meant to cause you any E flat at 9. B flat, I only ever wanted one time to see you G minor 11 in. Down to F, I only want to see you laughing in the purple B flat, purple rain, purple E flat at night. Purple rain, purple B flat to G minor 11. Purple rain, purple F, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. I never wanted to be your weekend lover. And then we're back through the same progression again. There's a couple of things that need explaining there. So the chord progression for the verses is the B flat with the D bass, G minor 11, F to E flat. It does the same thing around again, B flat, G minor, F. Instead of going to that E flat, it stays on the F just for 2 beats, and then there's the stop on the B flat. So really, really important that you get that. I'm going to take you through that verse one more time, just so you become aware of that 2-4 bar, okay? So we're starting 3, 4, B flat, 2, 3, 4, to the G minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, to E flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's the F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the chorus, E flat, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, purple rain, down to F, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the voice, 1 and 2, 2, 3, 4, and then we're into that B flat. So we've got this other little 2-4 bar at the end of the chorus with the break again. Now, the song is written so beautifully that it doesn't feel jerky or jolty or something like there's something missing or something odd about the odd time bar. It's one of the beautiful things when great songwriters use odd time bars. They don't usually feel like they're odd times, okay? You just, for those of you that are counting the beat or trying to strum along like that, you need to be aware that there's these 2 half bars, okay? So just kind of bear that in mind, although you don't need to be too fussy about it. Now, when it comes to the rhythm, the original recording is kind of sparse. There's a lot of times where it's just a chord rung, played once and rung out. And it is possible that I've started to kind of go through and really think about exactly what notes are being picked and how they're being picked. I think the most important thing is just keeping the rhythm consistent, like keeping your strumming hand consistent and choosing where you're going to strum and where you're not going to be. Because it's not like you have an old faithful strumming pattern that's going to work in a song like this. It's a little bit more malleable, a little bit, you can play with it a little bit more. So that's kind of what I'd encourage you to do. I'm going to take you over a little bit more detail on just the first 4 bars and show you a couple little flick offs and some embellishments that you might want to add in. You don't have to. This is kind of more advanced stuff. Like I said, I'm going to start simplifying in just a second. I'm just going to take you through a little bit more detail on that first 4 bars, and then we're going to regress. I'm going to take you through a few different cheats so you can play it a little simpler. So a few more details for you. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and. There's this little 3rd finger flicking off to the 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the 3rd string. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay? Okay, that last, my hand is moving up, but I'm not strumming. I'm flicking off with the 3rd finger. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Now it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E. Now this is a little bit tricky. So I can hear that little flick off, 3rd fret to 2nd fret, but at the same time you hear this step up to the F. So what I've been doing is thinking about 2, 3, 4, I'm putting my second finger down, allowing my little finger to fly off, but I'm actually picking with an up pick that low E. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my attention is on this low E to the F, but knowing that my little finger's going to do a flick off there. Sometimes it seems to come out a little louder than others. On the record, it seems quite clear that very first time, but how much of it was designed and how much of it was a happy accident, of course, I have no idea of telling, but that would be my approach to it. If I was playing this in the cover band, I'd definitely be spending a bit of time on that very first 4 bars, trying to nail it a little bit more like the record, just because it gives you that vibe when the song starts, a very iconic intro. So, on from the G minor. And this is 1 E and 2 and up, down, up, down, up. Then this is a little, it's quite more muted, 1, 2. There's like a hit there. Sorry, I said 1 and 2 there. It's 4 E and 4 E and, little hit. Again, how fussy you want to be about this, I don't know. Cover band land, you definitely want to be fussy about it. So 1 E and 2 and up, 3, 4 E and 1. Then there's so 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 E and then 4 E. There's those 2 last strums down up are played quite tight to give you that little gap, and then you hear a little bit of the delay of the guitar going on the sound. And we'll talk about the sound again at the end as well. Let me just try and play that through as best as I can, because even though I've kind of transcribed it and I feel like I'm trying to play it accurately, I haven't spent tons of time on really nailing it down. If you're a really huge Prince fan or you're playing in a covers band, then you probably want to put a bit more effort into it than what I'm doing. I'm not trying to use that as a cop-out. I just it's beautiful, but it takes a long time to really, really nail stuff. So it's up to you whether the juice is worth the squeeze for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once it's into the verses, they're much more sparse. But again, I'd still try and keep that strumming hand moving, because that's kind of how I'm feeling it. 2, 3. Get the idea, it's all about that. Even if you're not playing, keeping that hand moving, it's one of those things I think it's really important. You can see I can vary this rhythm up, I can play a lot or a little. I can play a lot here. So it's a bit more strummy, especially if I was playing in a loud environment and I couldn't hear my guitar and I had to sing. I might play more. I might play less. If people are being quiet and listening, hopefully I won't play little duff notes like that, but it happens. Anyway, love it. So if you're in a covers band or you're a big fan, you want to spend a little bit of extra time there on the intro, give it a good listen a few times. Just remember to keep the hand moving. Even if you want to get into picking out individual notes, be aware that the pick motions, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, that'll tell you what pick direction you should be playing any individual notes with. Now, the truth of the matter with this song is that all of these chords, fairly tricky, but luckily for you, there are some simpler ways, and particularly the first chord, I think it can sometimes sound even a little bit better. So let's just check that out now. So as I mentioned a few times now, this is the first chord. It's a B flat over D. Sometimes it sounds better to use this, which is a B flat sus2. You can hear the difference? Or this. It's not right, this chord. Right? It's not what's on the record. Okay? But I think sometimes it's got a purpose. That's a little trickier. This, never meant to cause you any sorrow. And you can see that I just popped the second finger down, very easy. Then to F, which is also very easy. Never meant to cause you any pain. And then you can use that same shape that you used here for the B flat up here on the 6th fret. This is an E flat sus2. So you can use that. That's simplified version number 1. Never meant to cause you any sorrow. F. Never meant to cause you any pain. It's the same. It's the same sequence then. The chords are in the same order. You're just using those simplified chords, which does make it a lot better. And I think for a lot of people, having that simplified option, it turns this song from being like really difficult into kind of playable and possible. And I think it's better to find a song that you really love and be able to play it rather than getting upset because you can't play this chord, which is, that's a tricky chord, right? Even for me to jump to that, I told you I have to put down first finger, then the other two, and then stretch out. It's certainly not a beginner chord, right? So even if you played all of it the same, maybe you do that all the same. It's not that hard, that part. And then just here you go to the... I mean, not many people are going to notice this is the real truth, right? So that can be a nice approach to that one as well. But I've even got one simpler one, if I can find my capo, which I popped down on the floor. Yeah, we're going to try a capo. So if we pop a capo on now, we can use an A sus2, which is very, very easy. Then just so this is open with the capo. Open, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, open, open. And then first finger down on the 2nd fret as well, on the thicker string. You might find it easier to use 3rd and 4th fingers for those two notes. And use your 2nd finger. Either of those options is good. Let's do that one. Never meant to cause you any F sharp minor 11. E. Never meant to cause you any D sus2. Okay, just like a regular D, but with your 2nd finger off. And that's it. Never meant to cause you to see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain, purple D. F sharp bass. Well, I'm using my thumb now, that's okay too. It's that long gap. There we go. I only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. I mean, how much easier is that? Like A sus2 with an F sharp bass. So you can I often use my thumb wrapped around like that. That's probably not much of a beginner thing. So you could use your 1st finger, or you could use 3rd and 4th fingers for the A sus2. Put the 2nd finger down for that bass note. E, and then D sus2. Now, of course, just to remind you, if you didn't happen to have a capo, you could use all of those same chords just without the capo. It would be a semitone lower. But if you're struggling with the vocal, if it was a bit high, it might be a little bit easier, a semitone lower. So just playing those chords with the capo off as well. So really the key things, especially for beginners, is keeping the hand moving. You know, that I say it all the time, but if you get the chords right, but the rhythm is wonky, it won't sound good. People won't be able to sing along. They won't enjoy it because we feel music, and feel's all about rhythm. So even though the chords are kind of fun and cool and you can play your song, you know, being focused on the rhythm, I think, is a really key thing. And with all of these sort of things, you know, just if you can just work on just playing 4 down strums. Actually, I'm already doing 16th there, so I'm doing a down strum with a down strum in between. Down, down, down. I'm only strumming down, and then I've got a little down motion in between. Get the chords right in a second. I have played this song, I promise. But this just gives you that dancing in the purple rain, purple rain. If you can't get the rhythm right, it's so simple what I'm doing. Purple rain, purple rain. But you could sing along with it. Somebody could enjoy the groove if you do that. Whereas if you're doing like purple rain, purple rain. Like, it just doesn't work. So you gotta focus on the rhythm and just keep the rhythm real simple. Strumming along with the original recording is a really good idea. Even if you're just strumming 4 to the bar would be a good start. Then strum 8 to the bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This kind of thing. So for this I was using the 62 Lux 5 preset by Michael Britt. I think it's off the Vintage pack, which is basically a Fender Deluxe kind of amplifier. If I go to the amplifier, here's the settings that I had. So just a little bit of gain, bass was up a little bit, middle in the middle, treble up a little bit, presence. These kind of settings are unique to the Kemper, I think, so I'm not sure they're going to be very helpful, but there they are anyway. Cabinet, I didn't really change anything. That was what was on. The most important thing, the effect though here that you're hearing is this is the chorus effect. So if I turn that off, you can hear the sound is really not, it's not really doing much. That's the one. So almost certainly you're going to have your mix up pretty high. I've got it 100%. I've turned the volume of it up a little bit, but really the key things here are the rate and the depth. But depending on what chorus pedal you've got, you're going to have to experiment with those settings. Obviously you don't want the rate to be too fast. That just sounds weird, right? So the rate doesn't want to be too fast, and the depth again, if you put it too high, like here's nothing. It just sounds odd. I don't know. You have to experiment. Crossover, most chorus pedals don't have that, but that just gives you a point where the chorus starts having the most effect, the frequency. Didn't realize it was down so low. It sounds a bit better there, but anyway, that's an important thing. You want to find your chorus, vintage style chorus if you've got choices, and then just have a bit of an experiment with the rate and the depth to figure out where you feel like it might work best. They were the settings that work best for me on this one. Now on it, I also added a delay. Now I don't think the original recording has a lot of delay on it, maybe a tiny bit, but you can see here, so I've set it, the mix at 28%, 432 milliseconds. 30% feedback, so that's like how many repeats you get. There's a bit of modulation on there, a little bit of ducking, which just means that if you're playing, that it doesn't get in the way as much as the kind of the volume of it is turned down a little bit. You don't need to have a delay on there, but again, that's what I've been using, what I felt like it helped the sound along. And I've got some reverb on here as well, a large room, 1.5 second decay time, not too high in the mix. There's a little bit of pre-delay. Again, like I might have tweaked these just a little bit, but it's not, mostly you need some reverb, like a kind of a roomy style reverb. But again, on the original recording, you don't really hear, anything very specific that I would say like it was definitely this reverb. The big deal for this sound really is going to be the chorus. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson today, whether you picked the Just Like the Record one or the medium one or the super easy one. Do remember, over on the website, all of the songs are graded by difficulty. So if you want a bit of a challenge, you can head on over and look for some super tricky stuff. If you're just a beginner and you know a few chords, then you can check out those easy grade 1 and grade 2 songs as well. Also, you might want to go check out the JustinGuitar Lessons and Songs app, which has hundreds of songs specifically designed for beginners to help them work on their rhythm. You play along with karaoke folky kind of styled tracks, but for guitar, and it means that you never develop those bad habits of stopping and starting with your rhythm. So if you haven't checked that out before, you might want to go give it a look. Have yourself an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more songs very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.